Okay, we're back. I'm back, at least. And I have another person with me, so it's a we. And this is a follow-up video for the sherry comparison I did with Macallan 12. So what we're doing here, I've got a Macallan 12 whiskey, which is aged in sherry casks. So it's a very sherried whiskey. It's got a lot of sherry in the nose and in the taste. And I've gone and collected 6 different sherries, ranging from the driest to the more sweet, and I'm trying to find which sherry compares most equally with the Macallan. The goal being a recommendation for you guys on which sherry to buy if you're trying to taste sherry, so that you know what note you're going to pick up in a sherried whiskey. So I've got Tiffany here with me.
Hi, people.
I should have said that first, but she's gonna, as a follow-up, I'm gonna have her do the same experiment I just did, and she's gonna nose these 6 and compare them to the Macallan and try to pick which sherry is most like the Macallan. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so we're gonna start with the driest first. That's the way I've organized this. Driest on the left side, and then sweetest on the right side. So we'll start driest. Here's your Macallan. You can have that in one hand. Familiarize yourself.
Okay. Am I tasting too, or am I just smelling?
We're just going to smell today, and maybe if it makes sense later, I'll do another tasting. But we'll just do smelling here.
Okay.
So this is a Fino sherry. This is a real cheap Fino sherry. I think this is actually probably intended for cooking, but it was cheap. It was what was available, so I picked it up. What do you think? Yeah, she's making a face.
It smells like mushrooms.
Yeah, okay.
Or like some kind of raw vegetable.
Not that good, right?
Not dirty, but...
Is there anything similar between that and the Macallan?
Not really.
Yeah, it's pretty off base, right?
Yeah.
So, one thing I didn't mention in my other video is that they take the sherry barrel that the sherry was aged in, and they give it to the whiskey makers. And the whiskey maker will actually char or toast the inside of the barrel, and so that's going to affect the flavor, the sherry flavor that you get out of the sherry barrel as well. But something to keep in mind.
Are all of these toasted?
Well, so no, I don't know how the sherry barrels are managed.
Oh.
But when the sherry barrel is given to Macallan,
it's toasted.
Macallan will toast the inside of that barrel, or char it most likely.
Okay. So
this is a Manzanilla. This next one. I think it's got the same amount of like sweetened characteristic, but I believe they let it get a little bit more oxidized. Nothing really. Or something.
It stinks.
Stinks.
It smells like...
It does smell like a mushroom. You're right. It's like soda.
Like a salty...
Soda water and mushrooms or something.
Yeah.
Salty?
Like a slightly salty, earthy, dirty, like fresh dirt that a mushroom would grow in.
So, that's the thing. Sherry they let mold grow in the barrel with the sherry. So, that's probably what you're smelling.
It smells a little bit like dried spit.
Okay. Interesting descriptive words. Dried spit.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one here, this next one is an Amontillado sherry. And this is...
God, these stink.
It has a richer, deeper amber color than the previous two. But it's the same sweetness.
Sorry, sherry lovers, but sherry stinks.
Yeah, it takes some getting used to. But it's like truffles, right? Or
maybe
cheeses.
True, maybe it's like cheese.
Yeah. Because
cheese is pretty damn stinky. These are like the same family.
These 3 are the same family,
yeah,
yes. These are unsweetened sherries.
Very much similar.
Are you getting anything in there?
No, this one smells a bit more like... No, it's about the same, actually.
About the same?
Yeah.
As these?
I thought so.
Try again. So you take it slow because your nose is probably getting a little tired. But They are different, right?
They're different, but they both have the same dried spit undertone.
Okay. Okay.
It's like
I smell a lot of dirt.
salty.
I smell a
Yeah,
lot of like dirt and mushrooms myself.
it's really hard to describe.
That's okay. Okay, we can move on. I think these
This one is sharper. The middle one
Yeah.
is sharper than this one.
crisper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right. So the next one here is Christian Brothers Dry Sherry, and despite the name, it's actually sweetened a bit. Toffee and nut flavors, it says. Hints of persimmon, medium-bodied. Yeah. 18% alcohol. Anything? What do you?
It's not as sharp. It's not
Right.
as like salty.
It's
dirty.
It's a little bit. What word would you use? A little bit more
Muted.
muted. Okay. What is muted? The bad smells.
The stinkiness. It doesn't really come out. It's not really that strong of a smell. So if anything, it's like the same family, but just not as strong, as in not as intense.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there are less aroma molecules.
Less of the bad ones though, right? Is there something else there that isn't in these? Is it getting closer to smelling like
it's a little
Macallan?
more buttery.
Okay.
But it's not really.
And when you compare it to the Macallan, are you getting anything?
The Macallan is much more fruity and it's got more alcohol in it, I think.
Sure.
So it's hard to tell what this would be like without the alcohol.
Mm-hmm. We can put a bunch of water in there.
This almost smells like more wet. Like
Okay.
Like wet dirt, but light, not that stinky.
Okay. All right, so this one is Harvey's Bristol Cream Sherry. Pretty heavily sweetened, these last two.
Mm-hmm. This smells better.
So you have to keep in mind you're trying to find the one that smells most like Macallan, right?
It smells... Closer. Close, actually, I think.
So, what about it is close? Are there specific characteristics, specific words you would use that are similar?
Well... Sorry, I'm kind of slow at this. But
it's okay.
It's
this
like
is good.
the same. It's got a similar smell, but this one just stings your nose because there's alcohol in it.
Okay.
But this one, a bit. This one might be a bit more sour. The Macallan might be a little more sour. So this seems sweet.
Okay. So this has sugar added to it, I believe. That's why they do it. But then, can I smell?
Yep. They add sugar to whiskey?
No, not sugar in the pure sugar sense, but they use sugar to make whiskey.
Oh.
From barley.
But they don't
barley
add
sugar.
They don't add like extra sugar.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure how they sweeten sherry, but it is sweetened. Okay, last one. Christian Brothers Cream Sherry. So another cream sherry. Should be pretty close to the Harvey's.
This is probably the closest.
Yeah, okay, good. I think for me the sweet notes, the Macallan is so sweet and fruity on the nose that you need a sherry that's also sweet and fruity to pick up on the sweetness or on the other things that make it a sherry smell, right? Because these dry ones are just so far off base when it comes to comparing to Macallan. It's a hard comparison. You have to get through the crazy mushroom and mold smells.
Mm-hmm. I would say this one or the Harveys. Christian Brothers or Harveys.
Okay. I thought that this one actually had something to it.
Really?
Yeah. It's not really the sweetness factor, but it's got the fruitiness of it actually makes me think of Macallan a teensy bit. It's got kind of a, I don't know, the word I was going to say is rubber, but that's not the right word. It's just that note of, I don't know, sherry note, I guess. No? Not getting it at all, right?
No, that one just seems a little too dirty, dusty, muddy.
Okay.
But
all right, well, it's a
I
good
don't know. I
experiment.
don't drink this stuff, so
Yeah, not much.
It's
experience.
actually, none of them are like a perfect hit.
Right, none of them are a clear match.
Yeah.
The Macallan has a lot of other stuff going on. It's less abrasive on the nose, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Right, it's sweeter notes, fruitier notes, but then what I think you get from the sherry is the word is raisin, I think.
Yep.
So, yeah, right. Like that's sort of the conclusion I drew was this Christian Brothers cream sherry, probably the way to go if you're trying to find something like Macallan 12. Okay.
But that's assuming that they taste similar to how they smell. Like,
Yeah.
what if they have
Well,
a totally
but the thing
different
is
taste?
most of the sherryness that I get on whiskeys is really a sherry nose.
Oh, okay.
Flavor-wise, they can vary quite a bit, actually. But yeah, I mean, there's a sherry in the taste, but it's easier. You can pick it up better in the nose when you're trying to pick up sherry. Okay, anything else?
No. Sorry
Okay.
if I've offended you and you like sherry.
That's
but
okay.
It stinks.
No, this is for whiskey drinkers, so sherry takes a back seat, so it's okay. All right, very well. Thanks, Tiffany, for
You're
joining
welcome.
us. Okay, goodbye,
Bye.
everybody.